Hello and welcome to episode 3 in our letterpress series. I'm Leanne and I'm going to be showing you in this episode how to monogram your stationery for a really personalised and elevated effect. You might have a wedding coming up, you might want to do save the dates, it might be to celebrate the birth of a granddaughter, it might be to celebrate a christening, whatever it is you want to do where you would like to personalise and monogram, this episode is for you. So I'm going to show you how to make a really lovely little invitation like this, and we're going to have a look at a couple of other things you can do as well while we're talking about monogramming. What you'll need is your letterpress platform, you'll need your ink pad, but actually in this episode I'm going to be bringing in one of my metallic ink pads. It doesn't always have to be the letterpress one, you can use other ink pads with the system too. So I'm going to be using a metallic one, that's one of our Midas ones. I've got my statement alphabet press plate set, and then on some watercolour card, and premium watercolour card here at Crafter's Companion, on some watercolour card I have pre-printed the invitation piece, so the words that I want to monogram onto the watercolour card, and I've cut that down into A2 pieces. Okay, so that's what I've got ready. So I've prepared my invitation, I'm ready for the monogramming. So let's take the alphabet set out. So once I've got all of the letters out I need, I can move the rest of the packet to the side. I've then got my platform and I'm going to open up the hinge and we're going to get it ready. Now then, I'm going to just put my invitation onto my platform to see where it lines up perfectly, and that is just over the A2. In fact, that fits better into this 4x6 window. So in my 4x6 window I can see there, that's the markings that I'm going to use, that's the space I've got available to position my 2 letters for my alphabet. Before I start positioning them, I'm actually going to turn this over and look to see where the space is for me to be able to letterpress it. Now, when I tape this onto my platform here to press the L and the C on there, and I close it, and this is another top tip for positioning, when I close it, you might be forgiven for putting your alphabets here at the top because that's where you think they need to be. They actually need to be at the bottom, because as you fold this over, the top becomes the bottom here for it to be read correctly. So if I turn this round and see what space I've got in that 6x4 space, I can see I've roughly got about 6 squares worth before I go over the top of my writing. So now I know roughly where I need to get those alphabets positioned and not go over the top of the writing that I've already printed. So now I turn that round the other way and tape this to the top of my platform. In the 6x4 space. And because I'm monogramming and I want this to be nice and still and I do not want it to move, I'm going with the belt and braces technique of applying the repositionable tape, which is on 3 sides that I'm not press plating. So I've got it on the left, the right and the bottom, and you can see I've really made sure that I've got that nice and still. So this is ready now to receive, and I've got my 2 letters to add on here. Now, because it's going back to front, so it's going to the top, you're going to put your letters on so it doesn't read the right way, so it's mirrored when you come to do them. And you can see that I've got the mirror there of Leanne Chivers. Now I'm just going to work in this 4x6 space. So I can see here is my 4x6, and I said I had about 6 squares down, didn't I? So if I'm going to position that about here and in the center, and then I'm going to position the C alongside. And the great thing about having these grid lines is you can get your alphabets nice and straight. And just take your time, because this is going to be for a full set of beautiful invitations that you're hand creating. Take your time to get those perfectly where you'd need them. Now, if you're not confident, and you see I'm just doing a little peek to make sure, if you're not confident that they're going to be in the right place and you think they might overlap your wording a little bit, another top tip from me is to take just a piece of white card on its own that has nothing on it and press that and see if that is in the right place, because you can hold it up against each other. In fact, I think we're going to do that. I've decided we're going to do it because I think it would be nice to show you how. So I'm going to take a piece of blank paper first before I go straight into the invitation. I was pretty confident it was in the right place, but you might not be at home. So let me show you what you would do if you're not confident, and then you're not wasting one of those precious pieces that you have cut out and printed on your printer. You can do it on a scrap piece. It doesn't even have to be a piece of your good watercolour card. It could be a bit of photocopy paper, random piece of scrap paper from your craft box. It doesn't really matter. And then we'll ink it up. Because this is a pigment ink pad, if it moves, don't worry, just get it back where you want it. Because it's a pigment ink pad, it's a little bit more sticky. So this won't do the swoosh. This will be light tapping to apply the ink. Because it's a sticky ink pad, pigment, and this is one of our metallic ones. So I'm just doing light tapping to get a good application of the ink there. If you notice by doing the light tapping that you've got any on your base of your platform, take a piece of kitchen towel and just go around and do a little clean up to make sure that you don't get any ink where you don't want it on your finished piece. Close it over, run it through. Now, so actually, good job that I did that, because what I can see there is, I think the LC is a little too far over that way. If I just pick that up and show you, it doesn't feel centralised enough. Now you might be happy with that, I'm not, because I'm very picky. So now I want to move that all back towards me. So that was a good little test to do, because we've been able to move those back a little bit further, which will make it feel much better on the finished piece. And just nudge them into place till you're happy with them. There we go. So now that we've done that, I can put back my printed piece. Just remove your spare bits of tape from there. And that's into the 4x6 space. I just left the tape on, didn't need to move that, so everything goes back exactly where it was before. Ink it again, you don't need to clean them in between. We're just doing light tapping to get that lovely bronze pigment ink in there. Okay, once you've got that ready, close your platform, pop it through. And I'm much happier with that. They feel like they're in the centre now. So what I've got is a beautifully monogrammed invitation to my 30th wedding anniversary with Simon. Should be doing a medal, a monogrammed medal at the same time. Okay, now what you would do, you've got those in the perfect place. We know we've got it positioned perfectly. Do not move anything on this magnetic side. All you would do now to do all of your invitations monogrammed is just keep putting a new piece on the top, lined up to the 4x6 area. Use your tape, keep it still. I'm reusing bits of old tape here, why not? Get maximum use out of them. And then ink up again, because they're in the perfect place. Light tapping. Little clean up, we're going to risk it. Pop it through. There's my second invitation, which is beautiful. And I would keep going with the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the 100th. Don't move this, just keep repositioning your paper and you can, on a production line, make all of your invitations. So for the posh invitation, we need a posh envelope, don't we? And I'm going to send my posh invitation to my friends Shona and Kevin. So I've got the S, the ampersand and the K from the alphabet set, and I've just positioned them on my platform in roughly the centre of the 5x7 area, because what I've done is take my envelope, pop it on there, and I can see it's roughly in the centre of the 5x7. I've positioned my 3 characters there, and I'm just going to ink them up in the same ink that I used for the posh invitation. And I think it's good to see that it doesn't just have to be a piece of card that you're monogramming or using your letterpress with. You can do it on your envelopes, you can do it on your scrapbook papers if you want to, you can do it on pearlescent cardstock, you can do it on your watercolour cardstocks, marker cardstock, whatever it is you want. And if you're using a metallic ink, black cardstock, why not? So yes, just experiment, try and pop other things in, and I think you'll be very, very pleased with the results. So once I've got that inked, lots of light tapping as I did before, I'm going to do a little clean up operation as well, just to make sure I don't get any ink where I don't want it. And then I'm roughly positioning my envelope in the centre of the 5x7 grid lines. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly. I'm sure the ruler police won't come and tell us off later. There we go, just keep that nice and still. Bit of my kitchen towel here, and I'm just going to, where I can see, I've just got a little bit of overspill with the ink. I'm just going to go and do a little clean up job so that doesn't get on my envelope. There we go. And once you've done that, close it up and run it through. And then you have got a beautifully monogrammed envelope for your special people to send your fancy invite. Not only can you do that, you can do it for many different occasions. So here we can see our little prince is turning 2, and we've got the little T for Teddy. I'm having a Galentine's Day and I'm inviting Natasha and I'm inviting Sarah to afternoon tea because we both like a bit of cake. And then for a really special event, my granddaughter Edie's 3rd birthday, in fact, I've done a little box of, you see, printed this bit, done the little E monogram, printed a beautiful box of invites for Edie, monogrammed the little wrap for those invites, wrapped them in some pretty vellum, and then made a whole pile of beautiful little invitations for my little princess's 3rd birthday celebration. You can be doing that for save the dates, for weddings, and in fact for a wedding that could be your menu plan, your order of service, your save the date, your RSVP, your actual invitation. It's going to look the most elegant and the most beautiful, and you're doing it all with your letterpress.